Scores of people were stranded at the Registrar General's department this morning when they went there to do business. This is because the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, CLOCSAG, have begun a nationwide strike over non-implementation of neutrality allowance by government, their employer. Many of the disappointed patrons of the Registrar General's department have had to return home without being attended to. My colleague, Michael Papani Ashale, was at the department earlier and engaged some of the visitors to the department.
Are you here to do business?
No, I'm not here.
I'm not here to business. What is Ali here to do?
I'm coming to check on my friend. I'm going to visit someone.
Okay. And the person is a civil servant?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay, so thank you very much for that. So at the moment, there's not yet a notice on the main entrance of the Registrar General's department indicating that there's a strike. But some of the people who have come here have had to be turned away after being announced to them that some of the civil servants here, most of them are not working here. So you can see that some people keep coming. And let me get closer to this gentleman. Bossman, good morning. Are you here to do something?
Yeah, I'm a trademark agent. I'm here to come and pay my trademarks. But they said they're on strike, so they're not working, yeah.
I see, but when did you find out? What time did you come here?
Right now, about 5 minutes ago.
Well, how does that make you feel that you come all the way from your home only to realize that they're not working?
Oh, that is bad. At least they should give the customers a notice so that we will not just spend our time and come here to come and do these things.
I mean, how important was the trademark that you were coming to pick up from here to you, and how would it right now impact the business that you were doing?
Yesterday, I came yesterday, but the system wasn't all that good, so I left it to them so that today I'll come and pay. So even it is with them, they work on it, and I'll come and pay at the bank so that the client also will get their receipt. And also, when I came, it's bad. It's bad.
So what do you do now?
I need to go to the office.
I can only wish you well for another time. Yeah, let me speak to some other individuals. Bossman, good morning. What were you here to do?
I'm here to pick my business sets.
Business certificates. And what response have you been getting from them?
I heard there's a strike going on right now. Yeah.
So essentially they're asking you to go back home?
Yes, of course, we should go back home. That's what they're saying.
So the certificate that you paid already, right?
Yeah.
And there was an agreement they're supposed to come for it today.
Yes, please.
I want you. So right now, what is going to happen to you? Are you going to go back home?
Yeah, I need to go back home. That's all, yeah.
How big of a deal is it for you they are not getting this certificate today?
Well, I need to meet an investor with this particular set, so he believed that this is what I'm about to. So it's so much great. I mean, should I say loss, or I mean, I'm confused at the moment, yeah.
But is this your first time coming to meet such a situation?
Yeah. It is my first time, yeah.
I can only wish you well. Thank you very much for speaking to us. So, Brace, these two gentlemen are not the only people here. A lot of people have come here since morning and have been turned away because the civil servants at the Registrar General's Department are not working. And most of the people are here to renew their business. Some of them are here to register their businesses, among others. Just behind this main building here is folks who are doing marriage. They are registering their marriage. We'll try to get to them as well, but it's just happening here. But that particular office, just so I mentioned, that they are working. And the reason they've been giving me is that some of these people have to book in advance of 2 weeks in a minimum. So you book for 2 weeks. So that 2 weeks is today, and that they'll feel really disappointed that they'll turn this people around, especially because it's marriage. Just for today and a few days, they will be working. But what they tell me is that those who are here to book new appointments for their marriage, they will not allow them to go through that process. And that's just far from here. So, Brace, that's the situation here. And I want to believe across some other ministries or places we are likely to find civil servants that help people transact very important businesses. A couple of people also sitting there who are here.
Now, scientists at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, are warning regular consumers of watermelon of adverse health effect from banned pesticides. The findings published in the journal Scientific Report found unacceptable levels of the pesticides residues like DDT in some of the fruit on the market in the Ashanti region. Joy News' medical correspondent Dr. Netta Prasram reports.
A group of pesticides known as organochlorines, which DDT and HCH form a part of, are banned for agricultural use. However, However, developing countries such as Ghana continue to use them.
Probably because of the organochlorine pesticides that have been banned and are still in use. And if you look at fruits, they are not the type of things that we cook before eating. As we consume them as we find them. The only thing probably that we do is to wash them. And these persistent organic pesticides, the organochlorine pesticides, have effect on human beings, harmful effects. They are poisonous, they have a tendency to cause cancer, and for which reason this particular project was something that was of necessity. And so we wanted not only to look at what happens in the market, because we know that people bring their wares from the farms to the market to sell. We're looking at what happens on the farm.
The scientists wanted to assess the levels of organochlorine residues in fruits and determine the potential risk associated with exposure to these pesticides. For the study, the researchers used 120 fruits from 5 communities in the Mampong municipality of the Ashanti region.
All these are communities where they are doing extensive farming into fruits and fruits mainly. And we looked at 3 of them: banana, pineapple, and watermelon, which is very much consumed. All these 3 are consumed by a lot of people on a daily basis. So we looked at the possible risk associated with these consumptions and realized that for most of these fruits, the risk of consumption was low for both infants and adults. But then for watermelon, the risk of consumption for adults was low, whereas that for infants was alarmingly high. I would say alarmingly high because the factor that we got was far greater than 1, which means that it is alarming. Also, when we looked at the carcinogenic risk, we also realized that the children are at a risk of having cancer by consuming watermelon because of the level of organochlorine pesticide that was found on it. We didn't see the same for the other 2 fruits that we looked at, which is pineapple and banana.
The scientists are therefore calling for regular monitoring of pesticide levels in fruits in order to protect consumer health. Reporting for Joy News, Dr. Netta Pashran.
Well, so let's broaden this discussion a bit and bring in an agronomist, Dr. Kwadwo Kusi, of the Department of Crop Science, School of Agric, University of Cape Coast. Doc, good afternoon. Thanks for your time. This morning, we established the fact that this is a widespread development, something that we should be worried about. How do we tackle it as a country?
Well, we must first of all give thanks to our farmers. They have good heart for us. Every farmer doesn't want the produce to and how they are doing it. I must say that most farmers are using these agrochemicals, not because they want us to have these diseases and all that, but sometimes the label is so confusing that they are even unable to understand how they are supposed to go about the use of these chemicals. For example, elsewhere, when farmers want to apply these chemicals on their crops, what they do is that they don't actually read the labels. They just go straight and say, okay, let me pour 3 cup full, the cup of the chemical. Let me just pour 3 cups in there. And then the dangerous thing is that when they pour these things in the knapsack, they taste it. Sometimes they put it on their tongue to see whether there is some sharpness, the concentration is that high, so that it can kill these insects, pests. But the other side of it is that we are going to consume these vegetables, these crops, and it is very dangerous as a country. We need to set up and find ways and means to curb this situation. Because there are other issues of it that we haven't mentioned, right? It is very dangerous.
Well, these farmers apply these pesticides or this particular chemical, DDT, to control pests.
Yeah.
We established in the morning that it's because they don't trust the pesticides which have been recommended for use on the market. If that is the case, how can the Ministry of Agriculture, because it is when it comes to agri, they are the regulators, how can they come in here and ensure we are having the effective pesticides on the market to ensure that farmers don't resort to unapproved ones like DDT?
Right. So it is not only MOFA that is supposed to do that. MOFA can champion it because they are at the top level. But PPRSD is part of it. That is the Plant Protection and Regulation Service Department. They are more into that. Then FDA can be part of it. Then EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, can also be part of it. The fact is that irrespective of all these laws that are being enforced on these agrochemicals, people are still smuggling them into the country. What are we doing to them? It's as if we have ignored some of these things. There are so many research going on, and then some of them have been published already about recommendations that we cannot take. In fact, the consumer can't do much. It is these agencies I've mentioned. Arrest them. Ask the farmer where they bought these chemicals from. Is the agrochemical shop licensed? If it is not, where did he get these chemicals from? Let's arrest them. Let's put a legal case on these things because it is human life that is involved. We are just not thinking about this. I guess listen to your the information from the scientists that these are the fruits they have tested and they have realized that these chemicals are there. But believe you me, there are some vegetables that are eaten raw. Carrots, lettuce, cabbage, spring onions, all these things are eaten raw. Every year, if you realize, during the rainy season, people get diarrhea. Why are they getting this diarrhea? It is because farmers are using these chemicals. But who is to, there's no clarity as to whose responsibility is that. If it is Fanta and Coke on the market, we know it is FDA. Now, the produce I'm going to buy from the market, whose responsibility, or it is whose responsibility to check all these things in the market? If we don't put stringent measures, we'll be talking about these things every day, but nothing is going to be done. So I feel that once it is human life involved, the government, parliament, all stakeholders, even consumers, we must make noise about this so that our farmers are well trained, then they can give us good food to eat. Because people are even getting sexual weaknesses, eating these vegetables, and that they are not realizing it is from there, but they are getting it.
Then it's a bigger issue then. What about certification like is done in cocoa to regulate how farmers go about cultivating their crops?
You see, cocoa
do it for me in the next 1 minute if you can, please.
Yes, cocoa is Ghana's number one crop. Let me put it that way. That is why these regulations are about that particular crop. We can do same for other crops, other vegetables, other field crops, and all that. Why are there regulations on cocoa but not on these other crops? So the same way they have done for cocoa, let me not talk too much. We can do same and enforce it for the other crops so that others can be healthy enough to work in Ghana.
Okay, Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us. Dr. Kwadwo Kusi is a crop scientist with the University of Cape Coast School of Agriculture. Now, let me take you back to the first story and rather take you to the Ashanti region where we understand members of QualiFication have fully withdrawn their services indefinitely. Offices are empty, leaving patrons of services at the ministries, departments, and agencies stranded. AC was hoping to access services at the Social Welfare Department only to be told the office has been closed. Emmanuel Bright Kweku visited some of the local and civil government offices and joins us on the line for more. Emmanuel, tell us more about the Kumasi situation.
Okay, great. So here in the Ashanti region, the Clockstart members have fully backed off from rendering their services. When I visited some of the offices at the ministries and the local government offices, particularly the Ghana Statistical Service and the Social Welfare Department, the offices were closed with some of the doors to these offices having red bands knotted to them. In my earlier engagement with the Ashanti Regional Chairman for Clockstart, that is Mr. Alexander Obing, he indicated that they are going to ensure all members under Clockstart comply with this directive. So they are going to deploy a task force for its implementation. A rather disturbing development over there is that these customers who come to the local ministries or the local government offices for services were left stranded over there. When I spoke with one lady, she told me she came there around 8 a.m. and then since then, she hadn't heard from any of these workers over there, only to be told that they are on strike. So she's left stranded. She told me she came from afar. So right now she's been told they are no more there. She has to go back, and then it has really affected her so much. So this is what is currently happening in the Ashanti region.
All right. Thank you very much, Bright, for joining us with this update from the Ashanti region. Grateful. Now, moving to other stories. The Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty Secretariat has blamed the delay in the payment of allowances to beneficiaries to bureaucratic processes to securing the grant. This week, 344,786 beneficiaries are receiving double their bi-monthly allowance under the 75th and 76th cycle of the grant. The Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty LEAP program has been fraught with consistent delays and thereby affecting the living conditions of beneficiaries. Head of the LEAP Management Secretariat, Mr. Miles Ongo, has been telling us more.
We are having a conversation, and the Social Protection Director is championing that there have been some other studies from academia, and people have been tasked to look at what dedicated funding can we have, just so that for the LEAP program alone and other social protection interventions. But more importantly, the LEAP program that has come to stay and that has gained the commitment of all governments. What can we do? Are we going to tax? Are we going to say 5% from our oil money? There are a lot of discussions, and people are looking to what other monies we can get from other places dedicated for the LEAP grants, so that there will not be delays. As it stands now, the LEAP program has over the years expanded a bit. Our hope is to meet about 350,000 households. And the last expansion, I must say that we relied on GNHR data for the Upper West and Upper East region to do the expansion. Currently, we are hoping to, we've gotten some data from them, and we are trying to validate and make up to the 350,000. So we are validating within the communities to be sure that the data is authentic. Not it's authentic, but to be sure that, over time, people can migrate. We got you 1 year ago, but you could move and all that. So we are validating to make sure we hit the 350,000 households. Again, the program is interested in reassess, and so to reassess, we want to leverage on the GNHR data, and so we are committed to piloting this reassessment in the 5 regions of the North, where GNHR.
Now, the mayor of the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, Sule Salifu, has indicated the resolve of the assembly to strictly enforce bylaws to ward off traders plying their trade around the interchange after a decongestion to move. The Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, before the commissioning of the interchange, embarked on a decongestion exercise and moved the traders to the Cocoa Market, another satellite market within the city, but the traders have returned to the street. Speaking at a stakeholder engagement at the Assembly, Mr. Sule Salifu said the Assembly's last resort will be to use the law enforcement agencies to get the place sanitized. Martina Bugri has more.
The Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, before the commissioning of the Tamale interchange, embarked on a decongestion exercise and moved the traders to the Kuko market and other satellite markets in the city. But the traders have relocated back on the street. Speaking at a stakeholder engagement at the assembly, Mr. Sule Salifu said the assembly's last resort is to use the law enforcement agencies to get the place sanitized.
We think that engaging stakeholders in this enterprise is much more results oriented than mission first. That the assembly, the GPRT, the LTTD, the Road Safety Commission will not hesitate to use the law enforcement agencies to get the place sanitized. This could be a last resort task we should call for.
The Northern Regional Commander of the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, Chief Superintendent Mahmoud Yusuf, told the stakeholders trading on the street, placing injurious substances on the road which can cause accidents, were punishable by the law.
Causing danger to road users. How do you cause danger to road users? Like the first one, trading, placing injurious substances on the road. You cause danger to the road if you block any part of it. The roads are made for free flow of traffic, vehicle moving, no impeding. But if you place anything on the road, that is likely to cause accident, likely to cause injury to any other person. It is against the regulation. And with this one too, you can go to jail for up to 3 months, 1 month. You can equally be fined for a period for 30 days, for 50 penalty units or 25 penalty.
The Northern Regional Director of the Road Safety Commission, Mohammed Abdul Samed, bemoaned the culture of people running to opinion leaders and chiefs when they are found culpable of the law.
You go out there, you see billboards all over the place, obstructing the view of motorists, causing accidents left, right. And someone has to see to it that the right thing is done. But do we allow them to do their work? The laws are there. The slightest thing, you are running to a chief, you are running to a malam, you are running to a pastor. Pastor calls him, he respects them, he sees himself as their son. So it becomes very difficult. You try to explain, no, I just want it this way. We should not live like that. Let's be fair to ourselves. Let's live as people who want to have peace. You know, you cannot have peace if you have a loved one lying at the hospital because of road traffic.
Now, Ramadan is seen as a spiritual time for reflection, improvement, and increased devotion and worship of God. During this period, adult Muslims do not eat nor drink from dawn to dusk. Even though children of the Muslim faith are expected to begin fasting once they have reached puberty, usually by the age of 14, many are encouraged to do so even before they attain this age. In the following report, my colleague Anas Sabit has been interacting with some children below the fasting age on how they first embarked on this important religious journey.
Muslim children typically aren't expected to fast during Ramadan until they reach puberty. But most often, kids will want to start earlier because they see everyone else abstaining from food and water from sunrise to sunset, followed by their community gathering to break their fast together, and they want to participate. Today, I set off to engage some of these kids on how they began observing the dawn to dusk religious obligation. 14-year-old Fatih Idris was 9 when she first attempted to fast.
When I started fasting, we were staying in Accra. When we went to school, I saw my friends fasting, so when I came home, I told my mom that I also wanted to fast. So in the morning, when I finished eating, I did my chores. Exactly ate. Then my stomach started growling. Then I went to the kitchen and saw some jollof. But I controlled myself. But when it was 12, I couldn't control myself anymore and I drank water.
Unlike Fatih Idris, who started at age 9, Abdulaziz Issa's first fasting experience was at age 13.
I myself wanted to fast because it was good. All my friends were doing it, and I was told that when you do, you receive blessing from Allah.
Like most of the kids I spoke with, 9-year-old Shurem is fasting for the first time this year. He attempted to do so a year ago, but failed to make it to sunset.
I was hungry. I was crying for help, and when I was in the room, I went to tell my stepmother that I'm hungry. He said I should wait until the time will go to 12. I waited and it came to 12, and I break the fast.
Kids can start by fasting for a few hours, by fasting from dawn to midday, by skipping lunch, or by fasting only on weekends. Hajia Hajara Kipo is a mother of 4. She shares with me how she nurtures her children into fasting.
For children and fasting, in fact, it is something interesting because I started with my children at the age of 5. And at the age of 5, the child will not fast fully, but the child will fast from morning to 12 o'clock. As at that age, then I'll ask the child to break the fast. And when you are doing this, you don't have to let the child go to school. You have to let the child do it at the weekends. So normally they do it at the fast at weekends. So when the child is at home, you can monitor the child, the way the child is feeling. When you see the child being weak or lying down, he can't do anything, then maybe you have to let the child break the fast.
Hajara is, however, surprised at how her kids took to fasting pretty easily and didn't appear to be overly exhausted, adding that Muslim children are not forced but trained gradually to do so.
It's not forced. We don't force the children, but we rather give them training. It's a training. Like I said, the children themselves, it will get to some time, when you ask them to fast today, tomorrow, don't fast, you have to rest. The child will say, no, mommy, I want to fast. Or daddy, allow me to fast. Me, I can fast today, evening time. Allow me to fast. So it's not force. We don't force them. We train them. And when you train your child well, the child will like to fast with you.
To these children I've been engaging, what else do they know about Ramadan aside from abstaining from food and water?
I was 9 when I started fasting, and nobody forced me to fast. I saw that everyone was fasting and nothing happened to them. And I also wanted to fast so that I can get blessings from Allah. You pray the 5 days of prayers and you recite and help the needy people.
Though Muslims are only mandated to fast at puberty, getting children encouraged to fast early remain of significant importance to most Muslim homes. Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Tichiman.
Still to come, Ghana expected to benefit from a $170 billion World Bank fund. Beverly Broom is next with business.
Let's do some business on Joy News today. I am Beverly Broom. Ghana is expected to benefit from a $170 billion World Bank Fund aimed to helping member countries address multiple overlapping crises in their economies. An initial $50 billion would be ready by July this year. The World Bank says it would help member countries manage rising inflation, energy and food supply shortage, which have been fueled by Russia-Ukraine war and lingering COVID-19 shocks. David Malpass is the World Bank president, and he has been speaking from Washington, D.C.
So whether it's Nigeria or Ghana, the countries that we've mentioned today, the keystone is to have plans and programs for the country that benefit the people and allow the poverty to be alleviated and the median income to go up. What is it that will cause more investment in the country that's productive? And we look for those programs and then try to rapidly expand the programs in those countries that are making progress toward beneficial results. Oftentimes, in a crisis like this one, we will be allocating more money to social protection programs. That means these targeted subsidies for the poorest, so that they can have a path through the crisis, and then have new businesses that start, new jobs that start on the other side of the crisis.
A finance and management company, Aya Institute, is calling for proper sensitization of women in micro, small and medium enterprises on the opportunities of the African Continental Free Trade Area after. The call is among some recommendations from a study by the Institute, which assessed the potential of women-led MSMEs in Ghana to take advantage of AFTA.
The Aya Institute's research revealed that about 72% of traders and 54% of companies are unaware of the AfCFTA. A researcher with the Institute, Eunice Penyin Ofei, is urging the Secretariat and government to educate women-led MSMEs on the benefits they could derive from the pact.
There needs to be immediate sensitization because this is a year after the commencement of the AfCFTA and people still don't know about it. That is presenting such opportunities to trade across Africa. So people need to know about it. And then also the financial assistance, the other major concern of this, that the government should provide financial assistance or make it favorable for these businesses to be able to access loans to fund their businesses, expand and then grow.
Marketing manager for the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Grace Jeble, advised women in MSMEs to consider collaborations to enable them access funds.
When you pool resources together, it is always better than one person standing. The challenge we have here in our part of the world is that people love to own 1%, 100% of a 100 CD business and to own 1% of $1 million business. It is very, very important that the women come together and pool their resources together so that they will be able to benefit from the synergies among themselves. What you are weak in, the other will be strong in that area. And like he said, it also gives you, it makes it easier for you to access funding.
Sector Chair for Agribusiness under the Association of Ghana Industries, Fatima Mohammed, outlined some initiatives her outfit is implementing to support women-led agribusinesses under AfCFTA.
At the Association of Ghana Industries, we have the wing in terms of women in business, and we work with various women sectors. So it's not only agriculture, so we look at the whole agro-processing angle. So from the farming side to the processing, to packaging and branding. So we have a lot of interventions, workshops and conversations with them because we are more on the policy side. And we get them linked up to agencies like the GIZ and others where they come in and get support in terms of mechanization or training in terms of finance and whatever else that they need in that area.
The research assessing the potential of women-led MSMEs in Ghana to take advantage of AfCFTA was supported by the German Corporation, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
That's all for business now. We have more business coming up on Marketplace at 1 p.m. Sports is up next.
Let's do sports now on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila. The Ghana Football Association says it is taking steps to reinstall coach Otorado as Blackstar's head coach for the World Cup that will be staged in Qatar. Since qualifying Ghana to the Mundial alongside George Boateng, Didi Dramani and Chris Hughton, there have been a massive vouch for the technical team to be retained, and this has gotten even the president of the land, Nana Akufo-Addo, to throw his weight behind the decision of the Ghana Football Association to maintain them. Now, General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association, Prosper Harrison-Addo, has confirmed to Joy Sports talks are ongoing to secure their services.
And says that engagements are going on, and that once conclusions are reached, we will announce to the generality of Ghanaians. We know this is one of the key things we need to conclude, and then to move on to the other things. And so work is ongoing. There's no use saying too much when we can just wait and then get the full blessing or otherwise, and then we can inform Ghanaians appropriately. You see, when you are in official positions, you can't speculate, and so we can only talk the facts. So as of today, the position is that engagements are going on. Once concluded, immediately we'll announce to Ghanaians and then move on from there. But what I can assure is that work is already going on. People, I've heard one or two people say that, oh, they are delaying and that there's no work going on. No, the national team doesn't function like that. Work goes on irrespective. There are a number of things going on.
And Didi Drama, Chris Hughton, George Boateng.
Everything about the technical team of the Blasters.
Welcome to the Blackstars. There's 90% certainty that he will be playing for the Blackstars at the FIFA World Cup. But let's do some rugby where Ghana is targeting qualification to this year's Rugby Sevens that will be staged in South Africa, as well as securing a ticket to the Commonwealth Games as the Eagles compete in the final shootouts later for April 23 and 24.
We have been treated well. We arrived on Tuesday early morning, and we have been treated well. We are in the hotel. We settled in well. All the guys have managed to get in on time, and now we have the whole squad in Uganda. Everybody is here with us, even the foreign-based guys. They are all with us in the camp at the moment.
So what has preparations been like?
The preparations have gone on well. We started off, like we said previously, that we started practicing in January. We have practiced until now. The only thing that is we were training the local-based guys, and now the foreign-based guys are in. So it's all about now gelling them together so that we'll be ready by Saturday.
Now tell me, how ready is the team to compete and secure qualification to the World Cup?
I think we are in a better stage than where we were in the previous week. Now we are in a better stage. We can see combinations coming in through. We can see guys playing together well. And
that is sports for now on Joy News today. But we do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. And I will also return with more sports at 2 p.m. with Sports Today. Up next is World News.